Lorna Slater.
Free school meals for all primary school children was a commitment the Scottish Greens secured back in 2021. This was being delivered when we were in government. Policy right up until April this year was to roll out universally to all children in P6 and 7 by 2026. The Scottish Greens champion free school meals for all because we know that getting school meals to all kids is an effective way to mitigate the impacts and stigma around child poverty. Yet as soon as the Greens are out of the room, the Scottish Government drops the policy. So, can the First Minister explain how we're supposed to take seriously his commitment to tackle child poverty?
First Minister.
The Government is facing acute financial challenges because of the persistence of the austerity agenda, because of the cumulative effect of inflation, which has eroded our budgets to a value of about 1/5 in the course of the last 3 years, and because we're having to find about £800 million in this financial year to meet public sector pay claims. Now, Lorna Slater will know from her experience in government that once the financial year starts, the government cannot expand the resources that are available to us. We have a fixed sum of money available to us once the financial year starts. All we can do is either receive consequential funding from the UK Government, which might expand that, or we can reallocate resources within the budget. And what the Government has reluctantly undertaken to do is to take some decisions which will ensure free school meals are available to young people whose families are in receipt of the Scottish Child Payment, which focuses our work on tackling poverty. It absolutely focuses our work on tackling poverty at a time when we are facing acute financial pressure. And that's the difficult decision the Government has had to do. And what Lorna Slater will appreciate from her period in government is the Government regularly has to face up to difficult financial choices, particularly when we have a persistence of the austerity climate that we thought we'd seen the back of with the Conservatives.
Lorna Slater.
During our time in government, the Scottish Greens scrapped peak rail fares. We introduced a groundbreaking fund to restore nature and create jobs across rural Scotland. We introduced legislation for a robust system of rent controls. We were on track to ban conversion practices and roll out free bus travel to asylum seekers. All this work is being undone, slashed, watered down or shelved. And now the betrayal of free school meals. The message of this week's programme for government is if you want progressive Green policies, you need to vote to have Greens in the room. What does the First Minister have to say to voters who backed these policies and now feel let down?
First Minister.
Can I just make clear to Lorna Slater's question gives me the opportunity to make clear that the Government is progressing with the legislation to ban conversion therapy in Scotland, but we think it's a pragmatic step to take to work with the United Kingdom Government to determine if there is a UK-wide approach to this which would enable us to avoid some of the difficulties that we found ourselves in relation to the gender recognition legislation. And that is no walking away from the commitment to end conversion therapy. That is a pragmatic step to try to avoid some of the legislative difficulties this Parliament found itself on conversion therapy. So I hope that provides some degree of reassurance. Now, Lorna Slater asked me what my message is to people at this particular time. Well, we can look at that a number of ways. The Government has put in place and agreed and supported pay deals that will be lifting families out of poverty because of the pay deals that we have agreed. There will be household incomes that will be increasing substantially. Poverty will be eroded because of the above-inflation pay increases this Government is prepared to sanction. Now, I cannot spend the same money twice. I understand the anguish that people feel about these choices, but I cannot spend the same money twice. And the Government believes that avoiding industrial action in our public services so that we can address the issues that Mr Sarwar fairly puts to me about the performance of the health service is important by ensuring that we deliver pay deals that are commensurate. But I cannot, at the same time as deliver pay deals in a fixed budget, also afford some of the policy commitments that I would dearly love to be introducing, but I cannot because we are still bound by the shackles of austerity.